Hello there. Welcome, everyone. This is my first video. I've been thinking about doing this for quite some time after seeing a lot of people play this game, and I wanted to kind of take you through. I don't know if you're familiar with Heroes of Might and Magic, the series. It's pretty awesome, has been there for a very long time. And the Olden era is essentially the new game that's out. It's going to be out very, very soon. You can see here essentially there's a add to a wish list for Steam if you want to play it, which definitely I've added already to a wish list and I'm already going to buy it. I think you want to reward the people that made this game. And what I'm going to do is I want to take us through a nice, interesting single player campaign with the classic mode, which is multiple heroes and going to be a lot of fun. So I'm going to start with a large map, kind of fairly conservative, 4 players. Apparently every player here starts at a different side of the map. And, I haven't tried all the factions yet, really. I think I've tried Temple and Schism. And I gotta say, I get drawn towards Temple because it's kind of like the classic castle faction in Heroes of Might and Magic 3. But honestly, from what I understand, it's a little bit, it's not as strong as the other ones. They really haven't done it as well. But still, I'm going to start with it and let's go. We got to pick our hero. And, typically I don't take a look too much at what the abilities are. Typically, the heroes are divided into 2 parts. The might and the magic. So the might definitely have more attack, more capabilities having to do with all that, while the magic obviously have a lot more capabilities to cast spells and deal with that. So I'm just going to go with random, and I guess I got a magic hero. As far as the difficulty, I'm going to do on fair. It's starting to get a little bit more difficult, at least for me. I'm decent, but I'm not like the best player in the world. So let's start the game. Interesting, the cinematic style that they've chosen to do in this game compared to the other ones. Very kind of mobile and things like that. I think you get used to it. If you come from Heroes of Might and Magic 3, you definitely takes a little bit of getting used to it. So if you haven't played this game before, essentially your goal here is to try and obviously destroy the enemy, but it's a turn-based combat game where essentially you have an adventure map, and your goal is to basically accumulate resources, build armies, and strategically attack, neutral creatures, which you can see on the map, and also obviously destroy the players, which in this case is the AI. All the heroes have a certain amount of movement points that they can use, and so you're limited in what you can do every turn. And a big piece of this game is trying to figure out what really you should do, and what's the best way to maximize the resources you accumulate to gain and level up as much as you can every turn. You just have to really think about what you want to do. For Temple, we get 2 towns basically, Griffin Rock and Heavenspire. And so that's something that gives us a little bit more economy than usual. You can see here, we can see how much gold total we're making, and each one of these towns is giving us 1,000 gold. And so what I'm going to do is the other piece here of the puzzle is you have heroes, and the heroes are what you control and you move on the map, and you use them to collect the resources, to fight the battles. Their skills add to the creatures' levels and all those things. And so the more heroes you have, typically, the better off you are, because you can You can discover more of the map. You can pick up more resources. You can do a lot of things. So, typically, especially on a second hero, I typically pick, whatever matches the faction I'm on. So these are units of the same faction for obvious reason, which is I can easily accumulate more and more of those same type of units. Because if I'm going to go with different units, that's going to hurt morale. So when you start mixing units, typically that hits the morale. And the units just don't match. They're not part of the same faction. So it's going to cost 2,500 gold to basically get these two units together. Now, something you may have noticed is you have multiple slots, and you can split the units, and this is part of the tactics that's the core to this game. You can split these units into multiple slots with a control. If I click on them and press control, hold control, and I click on them, it'll split them into ones. If I click shift, it'll split them in half. And so, what we want to do is kind of plan correctly. So what the town is showing me is that there's 14, we have a growth of 14 units. So every week we get a new fresh batch of units. And right now we have the 14 units and 18 of these. So these are, crossbowmen, or I don't remember what they call them right now, crossbowmen. And we have swordsmen. And so the swordsmen are basically the grunts of the army. And the crossbowmen are essentially going to stay at the back, and they shoot arrows, and they use, instead of melee, they use ranged attacks. And so the nice thing about that is that they get to basically shoot and not get hurt. Because one of the things that we're going to see as soon as we hit combat is the units that get hit, they typically, subject to some rules, are going to counterattack us. So if we try and hit them, whatever survives will come in and strike back at us. And that comes down to a lot of things that we play. Now, in the town here, one of the other important things you can see here, that there's a little hammer that essentially is telling us that we can build structures. And so these buildings that we have here, so there's a tech tree basically, allows us to do everything from building units to be able to get new units, to improve the current units and get more money and get all these things. So I've got two towns, and Muse is basically the basic crossbowman structure. Muse 2 is an improvement. Now, I really like this improvement because it's going to allow them to shoot twice. So if you look at the two units that we can build once we upgrade, we could actually make them shoot twice. So these are the two kind of upgrades. And what it does is strikes twice when performing ranged attack, which ends up making a ton more damage. The other side, the marksman, is basically can deal full range damage. So it doesn't matter what the range is, they'll deal the full damage. That ends up working well when the units, at the beginning, they're far away. But once they get closer, that serves us less. And so I tend to go with the double shot because that essentially works at any distance. But we don't have it. And I don't want to buy, so I want to be very efficient with my money. And so I've got two towns, and I'm not going to upgrade both. So in the other town, if we go, we have the same thing. So we have a hero here in town, and we got 14 and 18, and I just right-click to buy them. And so I'm going to buy them, and I'm going to just move them around. And I'm going to split this, and I'll discuss a little bit why I split them. Essentially, it's to absorb retaliation and attacks to avoid hitting the other stacks. And so basically, the bigger units, they basically end up killing just one unit instead of killing a whole stack. But I want to buy the Muse only in one place because actually the two towns, if you took a look, they are right next to each other. So why upgrade on both sides? It's just a waste of a lot of resources. So I'm just going to buy Muse 2 here, and I'm going to upgrade my units right here. So I double click, upgrade. I'm going to just click here, and oh, I ran out of money. I literally have no money. Okay, so I can't upgrade anything, and I guess I just wasted my money. One of the things that one has to be super careful in this game is, um, what you do. So still don't have enough because I bought this person. So anyway, so I'm gonna upgrade them in just a moment. One has to be very careful about what one does. I mean, I bought obviously a ton of units and I spent on a structure and things like that. But I didn't want to buy Muse 2 in both, not that I can, because that's going to spend money. So as opposed to Heroes of Magic 3, there's a Alt button that will highlight everything. So the map, at least initially when you start playing, it's a little bit confusing as to what's everything. But once you play a little bit, you start kind of getting used to it. So, one of the important things here that we got to do is we want to explore. So we want to see what everything we have, and we want to improve our heroes. We want to gather resources, and we want to maximize that. And we want to take fights, especially initially with weak, easy battles, because that's going to give us advantages later on. We have to increase the attack and everything for our devices, our heroes. They're here. So I'm just taking a look and looking to see what do we have here. So there's rewards, there's things we can't see here. We're essentially at the top left of the map. So obviously there's not going to be anybody here. I'm expecting there's going to be some people here on the four corners. That's essentially how this map works, from what I understand. And so I'm going to want to move in that direction. Now, roads, one thing that roads do is they help speed us up. So for the same number of movement points, we can move a lot more. So let me take a look. Okay, so alchemical dust is something new in, at least compared to Heroes of Might and Magic 3 that I'm familiar with. You can see here we have a relatively strong attacker here. That'd be a lethal battle. We don't have the units. This area is called a biome. So it's essentially an area of essentially the same kind of ground. And the type of ground that you fight on is one of the many factors that determines, what happens in a fight and how it looks. So we moved this in this direction, so obviously we can move there. So let me think. So we have an easy battle here. We can get more swordsmen, which would be good. And also we want to fight, because the fights are what's going to help us level up. There's another normal battle, which we could take, but I'm not sure. If I were to go here, so let me take a look at this hero. Honestly, heroes, they have artifacts that improve the stats, obviously the stats, and they've got skills, and those skills determine a lot of things, and we're going to see, essentially how well that works. So let's take a look. Diplomacy kind of sucks. I mean, it can bring a lot of units, and you can bring them to your side, essentially. I haven't used it a lot in this game. Used to use it a lot in Heroes of Might and Magic 3. I don't know how it works, to be honest with you, but we have that skill. So we don't really have that much of skills. We haven't. So as far as the spell casting, in order to do that, you need the Mage Guild, and we haven't built one, so we don't have any spells, and we're essentially going to come and attack here. So we're pretty weak, I would say. And so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to temporarily kind of merge the two armies. If I can, I'm not sure I can. Because I can't cross this guy without attacking. This here is a little bit stronger, actually. 14 crossbowmen, but these light weavers are also ranged, and so they'll help me take this guy out. take a look at the skills. So this one has basic intelligence, means they can learn, spells, and that's going to help them a lot. So this is probably the hero I want to go with as my primary. So you typically have, a primary hero that you go with. Apparently, I can't cross here, so just gonna have to start discovering things. So let me go with this hero. I'm gonna go and pick up some experience, and this is what happens. So when you level up, essentially, you've got the ability to pick three skills or advance existing ones. You can see I can advance ascension and diplomacy. But there's another thing, which is when a hero accumulates enough points, so you have to become an expert in these skills. But once you have 5 of them, essentially, that you've become expert, you suddenly get a huge benefit, which is all the hero spells cost 0 mana. So you can imagine you can cast without worrying about mana anymore, or limiting the other enemy hero to use only 1 spell per battle, which it's okay. I'm guessing could be powerful, but I'm not sure about. I'm going to take logistics anyway, because logistics allows more movement, which means you can do a lot more. It also, if you look here, so when you start going from basic to advanced to expert, you start selecting these kind of specializations. And so you can actually at some point get a spell that teleports you to nearest city, which is equivalent to the town portal. Basically, it is town portal of Heroes of Magic 3. And essentially that allows you to go back to town. What if your town is suddenly under threat, or you want to go pick up units and things like that? So this is a hugely beneficial skill, as opposed to at least the other two. I mean, kind of, if a friendly stack dies, you get more HP and things like that. I mean, my goal in battles, and your goal should be not to let them die. So I'm gonna pick it, and so let's take a look. So obviously, this is pretty well protected. So let me uncover a little bit more of the map. So, there's a lot of lethal battles. In some cases, we can access, things like this. So it essentially just bumped up our attack level, which is great. Not that we're going to be necessarily attacking with this guy, but we can tell what's around us. I guess I could go there, but you can see that because it's white, we've spent essentially all our points, and we can't use them. So now we got to get back to this hero, and so we can go there. I'm gonna let this hero go and discover there. I'm gonna let this hero go on this side. You got to be careful. Some items are hidden. You can see here there's a new biome here that's red that we can access. A spell. So we just picked up. Let's see what that is. Enlarged shadow. So. So a lot of the places where you can get gold and artifacts and things like that, you have to defeat guards. We're probably we're way below the level we need to. So these are archers, skeletons, and all kinds of stuff. There's no way we could complete it right now. We got an easy battle here, and we could get cavalry. The problem is, in order to get the cavalry, we'd have to defeat some of them, which I don't think we're in the position to really do right now. So I'm going to come here and pick up the wood. So wood for temple is extremely valuable. By the way, so I built a something here. I haven't built anything here, and I want to use my turn. So every turn you can build a building, and just want to keep progressing. Honestly, the options are not great. We already have the muse in the other one. Garrison 2. I'm gonna probably want to put the garrison in the other one. We want it at least in one place so that we can train the upgraded version of the swordsman, the guard captains, and the St. Aegises. It's not good. We do need a marketplace long term. So marketplace allows us to trade resources either for money or among themselves. It's going to become pretty critical later on, especially if we only have of one type and we need to convert it. So might as well build it now. Excuse me. So let's keep going. Okay, so we got more gold here and a bunch of resources, and something that common to the Heroes of Mind Magic saga is these portals. Now, in the old versions, there'd be a unit right outside, but now the units are in the portal, and you got to defeat them. And obviously, we're not going to be able to do that. So let's try and pick up. Okay, we ran out of everything. So once we've done everything we can, we built everything we can, we just go to the next turn. So I'm just going to cover a little bit of how this works, and then I think we're all going to pick it up as we go along. So I'm going to just pick up the gold, pick up this. This may be okay. No, it's impossible as well. So it's a bunch of upgraded units. So we retreat. Okay. So honestly, this has really been kind of crappy because we don't have a lot. There's a lot of very difficult battles. So I would say this map in general is pretty terrible. So this place, the problem with me maybe taking this right now, which is the upgrade, is they'll try and upgrade these 3 skills, and I'm not sure that they're really that good. You don't know. It's a random, skill that it picks. So let's keep uncovering things, and let's see. Black towers have some very difficult guards typically and things like that. So you can see just this map is exceedingly difficult. Not a lot of battles and things like that. So I think I'm gonna have to very soon make some tough choices but probably needed to combine the 2 units and things. I mean, the only 2 easy battles that we can take are this and that one. So I think I'm gonna be going for this. We need the swordsman, and we need to start accumulating however many more units as we can and start improving them. So on this here, I'm gonna go for the Griffin Brookery. You can see that allows me to build griffins, and we got all the requirements, and then I can right click and just buy them. Let's see. Okay, let's take this battle. So we're much stronger. We can destroy them. But we want to take a look. So what this screen tells you is how many losses you're going to take. So if I accept the result, basically I'm losing 6 here, 1 here, and they're going to all die. But we don't typically want to do this because what's going to happen is it's going to kill our guys. And our goal is to keep however many of our guys we can alive, because that's what's going to allow us to, grow and survive. And so our goal is always to do that. As opposed to the other, at least the HOMM3, you always get like basic tactics. So tactics phase, you can move the units and you can rearrange them. And our goal here is we want to keep the range units out of harm's way, and that means that there shouldn't be any hex next to them that we can essentially that any unit with a melee can come and get them. Now it's going to take them time, but we'll do that. So these are 2 range units, so they're kind of in the back. I'm going to have to move a few of the people. One other thing that kind of surprised me is you don't get to see the units before you press start battle. So it makes it much more difficult to plan tactically. Now these units, you can see the yellow pattern. It tells you where they can go. And so they're going to take probably 3 turns in order to get to us, which means we're going to be able to shoot at them in 3 turns, and it'll take them time. So that's what we're going to do. I'm gonna take a look and see what we have. So we can cast Enlarged Shadow, we can cast Heavenly Blades, and that's interesting. So none of these actually damage anything, so probably don't want to use any of that. Another item that's kind of unique to the new version, Olden Era, is this Heroic Strike, which can do just damage, and this is the hero itself casting. That doesn't require mana, but it does require gaining enough focus points, which can be done in different ways. So what I'm going to do is, they're not going to reach me, so I'm going to just attack them with my range units to weaken them as they get close, and then we're going to eliminate them. So I'm going to just press D to defend, and essentially it's going to skip the turn. They decided to wait, which means they put themselves at the end of the turn. That's not going to make any difference now, but it can play a role here. If we right click on these guys, we can see what tier they are. So that's tier 1. They're all tier 1, but they're basically different upgraded versions of the same one. So this is the basic one, Troglodyte, and these are the Infernal and the Toxic one. And so these are the more dangerous units, and this is the less. So we want to really kill, if we're going to kill, you can see we're going to kill 2 or 3 of these and 3 or 4 of these, but these are more dangerous in some ways. So we want to start hitting them and focus down. And focus down on them. And so that's what we're going to do. So he's down to 6. He's very, very weak now. And we probably want to focus on this guy. And, this guy, we can take the majority of them out with our units. One thing I did forget to do is move my 1 unit guys around. Oh, we got morale, not that it matters, but we can at least improve defense. So when we go into a defensive stance, it essentially improves our defense. So if they get hit, we can protect, and this guy as well. Oh, so yeah, so one thing in this new version is there's some longer reach that can happen. So they've actually arrived faster than I imagined. He's already here, and he also immediately went. So what I want to do is I want to weaken him, and I guess we kill him off. And so what's going to happen? So this is the turn, and this shows us who's going to be next and all that. And I can definitely see, so our archer and this unit are going to be before this, so they can both shoot the 18. Although, yeah, so he may hit me. So in order to maximize the units, I'm better off waiting here, and then probably just almost killing this guy and essentially killing this guy almost. Yeah, so they do very little damage. You can see my units. I'm just killing them off and slowly. One thing that's very important, so the reason for these 1 stack, so we call, a stack of 9, it's a stack of units. The reason for the 1 stacks is essentially to absorb retaliation. So when a unit gets hit, it essentially retaliates. And actually, in some units in this game, can retaliate before you, or can hit you before you actually hit them, which is an interesting mechanic that you got to be very, very careful of. That's where you got to read the information about each one of the units, because otherwise you're going to get caught, and you're not going to be able to deal with that. So, but I just realized that my Heroic Strike has charged, and I can just kill them off and take no risk. So unfortunately, so from 6 and 1, I got 2 of my archers dead, which honestly is not desirable. I probably should have checked more, but it is what it is. We'll take it. We can get a bunch of swordmen here. You can see it increased. We don't have the money to buy all of them. So we probably want to come here, because we're going to want to upgrade our archers and pick up the griffins. We don't have any money. We can't do anything else. We ran out of movement points for both our heroes, so time to move to the next day. So let's pick up the griffins. And essentially my trick is to put the kind of range units up top in the kind of the meat the meat down there in order to move it up and have it absorb. So let's take a look. So we can do garrison, and that's good. So we want to do two things. So we want to upgrade our archers, and we want to, I don't know if there's a way to actually collect them all together in one shot, but we want to upgrade these guys as well. They get there's two options. I go with the one that strikes twice because it does double the damage. You know, there's some benefits here, but when I compared them, you know, when you take a look, it's not that big of a deal. So I'm gonna upgrade them. Oh, I don't have the money. Okay, so I'm gonna upgrade at least a majority of them. So I just split them up, and then I can upgrade the majority of them, and then we'll upgrade them later. That's life. No money. Gotta figure it out. There's a new mechanic which I forgot to mention, which is the low points. Low points? Yeah, I think so. And you can essentially, you know, you put points and you keep upgrading them and you move levels, and it can give you everything from more unit growth to, you know, just performance, just more damage and things like that. So it's very interesting. I'm gonna go with gold just because I'm gonna need money. We can already tell, you know, I'm running out of money and need it. So we're gonna come here. You know, you want to be careful about the range units. You know, the range units are what's gonna get our range units first, and we want to protect those as much as possible. So we're gonna, I think one of these may be ranged. So let me think about it. You know, I think I can do better, and that's the question. But although, obviously, from what happened earlier, it didn't prove me right. But I think we can do better. So let's take a look at any of these. Okay, this is melee attack, and this is melee attack. Okay, so they're gonna take time to reach us, and let's see. Target friendly creature deals 50 per damage upon attack and restores the same amount. Does not revive. So it's tier 4, and so okay, so we probably want to use that to some degree, although it's 23 out of 40, so you know, it's a one-time thing. Okay, so we're gonna wait here, and I'm gonna protect this guy, although it's not the same as the other one. Let's take a look. Summons a stack. Oh yeah, so these guys can summon a stack of 50 HP of the corpses, and so it just adds more creatures to be dealt with. But these are tier 1, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Actually, I probably wanted to protect my, and I should have thought of that. Anyway, so that's tough. Only two kills there. That's not good. The good news is we have the 2 shots, which is why yeah, we're okay, and we get morale, which is fantastic. So we're gonna give this one another hit, and you know, we wanna, these are the upgraded units, and so I wanted to attack them first. Essentially, he's gonna essentially come upon us next round, so we want to be, you know, very careful. We want to protect everybody. Okay, so 3-4, so we should kill 6 to 8 because we got 2 shots, so that reduces him a lot. I think we want to, okay, we can kill him, and then next round we essentially focus down on this guy. I think that's the plan. I think that works. Okay, so yeah, I could come down on him, but okay, so we got the heroic strike, might as well use that. Just lower him down. And yeah, I mean, I guess let's defend, and then let's shoot at him, and bring him down. Well, okay, so there's only 4. And so he barely damages us. So you can see in this case, definitely I managed to not lose any unit. I killed theirs. I didn't spend any mana, which, you know, you have to, you know, it doesn't just renew. You can only get mana refreshed if you go to a town that has a mage guild, and then you renew it, and so you want to be careful. Okay, so crystal storage is okay. So we essentially got a crystal place right next to us. Okay, I think we can check this, but there's probably no way I could do it. Some people are really okay. Easy battle, but I'm gonna take some losses. So this is essentially a dragon, and he's probably got 150 to 200 hit points or something like that. You know, this is one of those decisions I made. It does say easy battle, but I'm gonna take losses. And so in this kind of game, you just want to think about, okay, what's my potential? I'm probably gonna get to Black Tower. Probably gonna get quite a bit of cash, and I need it. And I'm gonna lose some units, and it's probably worth it for the experience. So let me see. So you can see it's gonna level up. Yeah, you can see already I'm predicted to lose quite a bit of these units. I think I can probably do better, just because of my spells. So let's, oh man. Okay, so I forgot to mention that some of the maps are ones where you basically spawn in the middle. I don't know what they call that, but you spawn in the middle. You have to rearrange your units, and then the unit, the attacking unit, because we're in tactics phase, we don't know where they'll spawn. I think typically they spawn on the right side. And typically what we want to do is, as always, keep the archers and the range units far away, because they're the weakest, typically for melee and things like that. The problem is the dragon is going to come. And that dragon, if I remember correctly, so we lost 20 of these. He's probably going to come and attack 20 of these. I wish I could bait him with something else, but probably not. Also, because it's a dragon and he has the highest initiative as speed, I think in this game, initiative is what makes us move fastest. He's going to be the first to move. And so he's going to damage me regardless. I don't think I can keep units away. I'm going to move this one out. Maybe I'll... I wish, I mean, the best thing would be if the dragon attacked the, you know, that one, but the AI is not dumb. And so the AI is going to come after me. And, yep. Okay, that wasn't terrible. I guess I took 8. So let's see. So he has like a, oh, okay, 275. So he's immune to a bunch of magic. One thing that you have to be careful about is he damages the hex directly behind it. So if you stagger a bunch of units, boom, he can hit them. He can get a 2-for-1 and basically hit them. So you want to be super careful. I think we're gonna want to use. I mean, we're gonna definitely want to use. This is not gonna do a lot. So here's what I'm gonna do. So you gotta think about it. If I come and I attack with the griffin, the griffin is gonna be retaliated on, and we don't want to do that because the griffin's gonna take the hit. So what we want to do is we want to use essentially the meat here, the meat shield, and use them. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna wait, and then we're gonna come in with the meat, and we're gonna get the retaliation. Okay. So dragon's gonna waste the retaliation for that round, and we want to be careful. He's gonna waste the retaliation, and then we're gonna be able to do some damage to him. You see, he doesn't retaliate, and our units are waiting. So his life. So he's got 176 still left, and we can do a heroic strike on him. Okay, another 40. And yeah, I mean, I guess we gotta hit him with everything we've got. We gotta be careful not to stack in a way that, you see, I'm gonna move him so that we don't stack on top. Oh yeah, double damage. That's why I love those guys. And now we need 60. Oh yeah. Okay. Let's see if this works. Yes. Okay, so we did all the damage. We lost essentially only 9, and one of them being the lower level ones. So probably as good as can be played, given the units. So we got some options here. I do try and get the, you know, get either the Grand Inquisitor or the Ascendant. I think the Ascendant's better. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's been super difficult to get those things. I don't get offered a lot, and sometimes it's very difficult. Scouting, I don't really like it. I mean, not on a main hero essentially, which is what she's becoming, because you just need more space for other spells. Battle magic, so spell power and knowledge essentially increases the creatures. You know, I've been playing this game for just a little bit, so I don't know everything yet. Let's look at the options. So every time you use a spell, the attack increases by 2. Wow, that's actually could come in very handy. Or you can use defense. I'm guessing you gotta have defense for these, or attack. Spell power, attack increases by 20% of his spell power. So if she becomes pretty powerful, this will help. Double if you're in no sorcery, and defense increases. So yeah, so it basically helps with all the basic battle. The problem is I'm gonna sacrifice a slot here for a blue, you know, the blue cup basically, instead of the red cup. And I don't want to do that yet. So I think I'm going to go with Advanced Intelligence. I'm going to be able to select one of these guys. So either I level up again, Neutral Magic. So if I'm going to see a lot of heroes, Eagle Eye is going to be very useful to pick up stuff. But I just have never used Eagle Eye effectively in anything. Like, I've seen it very rarely used. Sometimes I bet it is, but I think you can pick more spells up just by going to towns and stuff. I could level up again, which would definitely be useful. I don't know yet, to be honest with you, this whole neutral magic thing and all that. My problem is that leveling up again isn't a permanent thing, so I guess I'm going to go with this. So it's not permanent. I do level up, but I could level up by killing stuff, and so there's no point in that. Okay, so we got magic slippers, 3,000. So I told you we obviously need the money, and we're gonna go for that money. Okay, so we got muse. We need even more money. We need 20. We need 5. The lack of wood is something that really hurts us. Honestly, we're gonna need to. Unfortunately, I can't even get the Mage Guild. However, I do have a market that I did build because I knew this would happen, and so I can exchange resources. So I could go and I could get, 4 for 2, which I think is a good deal. Then I got 5, and I can get. Yeah, I'll do that. I can build a Mage Guild. Damn it! I forgot that I already built here. Okay. And I don't have anything else. Okay. So let's see what else we can buy. Okay. Yeah, that was. I didn't think it through. Let's go look at our low points. We can increase this. I think we need more gold. I think this map is pretty terrible. I don't think I've had this bad of a map. Gotta be careful. Already visited. Difficult battle, etc. I could go and get that. Yeah. Gotta be careful not to get stuck in some places that didn't go anywhere, but sometimes you'd be surprised. See, there's nothing to go there. So is it worth it? I guess I'm desperate for money, and I don't have a lot to do. But on the other hand, I think I need to. Okay, so I got this easy battle. I think this is worth it. Oof. Yeah, definitely don't want those losses. So let's. The archers are something that I really, really protect because we don't have any spells. They just accumulate. Once you get to a certain point where you have enough archers, they're basically doing a ton of damage for you from a distance and protecting everything you've got. So you want to really protect those archers. Fortunately, I don't have light weavers here. So, and unfortunately, these are not the upgraded archers. So this guy's going to reach me, and he's probably going to go for these guys. It's just a guess. The AI basically, they're not dumb. They wanna do as much damage overall as they can. So they're probably gonna go for the 27. Oh, the Griffins. I think I got no other choice but really just wait and try and drop them a little bit more. Yeah. Okay, lucky there. Yeah. Okay, and this guy does damage, like an area damage, right? So he can summon. He can do. He can only attack adjacent enemies. Yeah. Provokes counterattacks. Interesting. So I'm gonna do what I did in the other battle. Just gonna come. I'm gonna attack with the dumb guy. That's gonna get killed along with the other guy, unfortunately. And I should have attacked. Oh my god. Didn't work out exactly the way I wanted to. But yeah, but I killed him. So it's okay. I saved one of my archers and took a loss on the other ones. I guess that's okay. I definitely need wood desperately. I really should be able to kill these guys, but I can't. My army is not that good. Okay, so yeah, this will allow me. Okay, so I do get that. So basic logistics is a must. I think I've said it before. You gotta be able to move quickly around map, otherwise you're gonna be outrun by the other heroes. And let's take a look. Okay. I do need that wood because we need to build a bunch of things. So I can increase my defense. This is a difficult battle. I can increase my attack as well. So those two would be actually good because I'm kind of weak on that. And I already learned here. I could come here and learn. This is an easy battle, so that'll increase my knowledge. I can improve here, can improve here, can improve here. There's a village. I can kill this. There's improvement here that I may be able to take. This is a normal battle, so that shouldn't be bad. So essentially, I'm getting the feeling I need to kind of move in that direction and start attacking things. I need to improve my hero because my attack and defense are super low, and so I could do that. But I think I could improve intelligence and logistics. This is pretty good, but it's not a lot. I think I need to also pick up the other heroes' army. So I'm done for today, and I'm gonna stop here.